In May of 2025, I was contacted by a couple of lovely women, Brandy and Bonnie from Run to the Rescue. They had secured the release of 30 research beagles in China, and they needed someplace for those dogs to go. And Kindness Ranch, having a specialty in that, they reached out to us, and I immediately said yes. And within a week, I was told that there was an additional 17 that were being released as well. And if you've committed to 30, you may as well commit to 47. So the goal was to have them all out by July 4th, which is where the Operation Freedom Fetchers came from. And we were initially confronted with a bill of $64,000 to secure airfare and transport to Los Angeles. And by the time the last 17 came in, that amount had exploded to over $120,000. The CDC facility was shut down twice due to disease outbreaks by other cargo shipments that came in, and transport was just getting more and more expensive by the day. After the CDC facility delayed 2 more times, bringing us into 2026, we finally had a date to go get the final 17 dogs. And Katie, my wife, our driving goddess extraordinaire, made the trip to Los Angeles with Chris, our content creator for Kindness Ranch, and drove out there to pick them up. And unfortunately, the release was delayed, and they had to spend an extra day in Los Angeles, but finally had all 17 on board, and I don't remember the exact date, but got them back to the ranch safe and sound. After being on standby and in crates and on the plane for what ended up being nearly 50 hours, the dogs came in very shut down. On the verge of being traumatized to the point that they just couldn't function. And luckily the team here, with handbooks and previous guidance by Chelsey with Keeper and Kin, and the just amazing training that they've all had and dedication to the animals, these dogs have turned around and just been absolutely incredible.
My name is Chelsey Marino. I'm the co-founder of Keeper and Kin. It is a rehabilitation and training program for former research dogs. I've been coming out to Kindness Ranch for a couple years now, intermittently, and come out here to work with the more behaviorally challenged dogs that they have, and helping their staff hands-on, and also creating protocols and structures so that the staff can help the dogs when I'm not here. And we're helping them get more ready to go into adoptive homes. The China dogs are, like John said, more shut down and timid initially. They don't have major behavior problems, I would say, aside from that. They are really, really sweet girls, and all of the adopters that I have worked with just love them to pieces, especially as they work with them and get them to build up their confidence. They're really starting to open up and flourish. My vision of success when these dogs leave here is that they are going to go into homes that are prepared for them, and they are patient, and they are able to take their time to help these dogs open up, because a lot of the times the dogs go home and they are happy, and sometimes we take that as things are okay, and a lot of the times they are not. And it's just nice to see the dogs go and get the proper rehabilitation that they need, so they can open up and they feel safe and secure because of the transition into Kindness Ranch, and then the transition into their adoptive homes, and then of course working with me, helping them set up for success, and just becoming, like, I call them real dogs. You know, real dogs play with toys, and real dogs sniff the ground for treats and cuddle on the couch, and like that's what everybody wants to see out of these dogs. We have resources that we have created for the dogs and the adopters when they leave Kindness Ranch to help them long term. So the adopters don't feel like they have to deal with all of these things alone, and they are always able to ask me questions and get as much or as little help as they need, because I like to make sure that they feel fully supported in this whole process.
With the popularity and the media that our China dogs have garnered, we ended up with a little bit of a waiting list for all of the dogs to be adopted that could be. And as they went out, we have a few remaining that are a little shut down that we've identified as being able to thrive much more in a foster environment. So we're going to be sending those dogs to our rescue partners in Canada, the Beagle Alliance, and they will be put into foster homes where they'll receive much more direct one-on-one help. And it frees up room for our next 22 dogs that will be arriving from a lab down along the Gulf Coast within the next day or two.